What are the skills and characteristics that make for an effective board chair? Are these natural talents, or are there skills that can be focused on, practiced and perfected? Being a board chair requires certain skills and insight, and it can be a daunting challenge for people new to the role or thinking about becoming the board chair. This video focuses on the core functions of the board chair that will help you reflect on your role and the skills necessary to guide productive conversations and deliberations of the board. It's worth reminding you here that the board chair plays a crucial role in the school. Whereas a stakeholder in the school may have the freedom to express their opinions, anyone acting as a trustee must recognize that their words and views may be interpreted differently, and whether you like it or not, your opinions carry a different weight. Parents, teachers, or people in the public will assume that as a trustee, you have additional insight. And that's why it's important for all trustees to understand the importance of being able to discuss openly within a board meeting, but that every trustee presents the same agreed messages when speaking with other people. Any trustee who's seen to splinter from the group or to distance themselves from decisions made by saying things like, "Well, I didn't vote for it, but it was the board's decision," may not be aware of the damage that this can cause, which can lead to a divided and unproductive board. The board chair has even greater responsibilities for being careful with the words used, whether in meetings or casual conversations with stakeholders. This can be a very difficult realization for many new to the role of board chair, and often it's something learned through the school of hard knocks. You can get away with expressing your personal views or controversial observations as an individual, but as the chair, be prepared for parents and stakeholders to challenge things that you've said, even take offense, and hold you accountable for inconsistencies or unfulfilled promises. One of your essential roles as chair, and it's a skill that can be developed, is that of shaping conversations. Your leadership of your board relies on your understanding of people and group dynamics and the different modes of school governance, and how and when to adopt these different approaches. With the legal implications associated with the board and chair, there are of course elements of compliance and oversight that need to be assured. These may be referred to as the fiduciary stewardship aspects of the school and the board, and your questions and directions will help ensure that all aspects of the school's operations remain on a firm footing. There are also times when you need to steer the board towards more strategic thinking and planning. Conversations about strategies should be thoughtfully planned, as you may be committing resources and time to endeavours that you'll need to ensure that they aren't some whimsical wish, but they are indeed impactful for the right reasons. Arguably, the most powerful conversations are those that take place before strategies are devised, by asking insightful questions to really understand the context, which is usually termed generative governance. So as the chair, you'll want to be reflective, to step back from the conversations, to really understand the interplay between the characters, and to understand if there are any politics or pressures that may be at play within the school community. You'll need to devise strategies for when to step forward and when to step back to let others express their opinion, and to encourage everyone to contribute to the discussions in the meetings. Again, remember that as chair, your comments carry a different weight that you may not have been used to. Whereas in your work, or even as a trustee, you may have built a reputation for being forthright and contributing enthusiastically to conversations. Now, as a chair, you don't want to unnecessarily influence others' opinions unless that's your strategic intent. If you think about it, some of the greatest leaders make a point of encouraging conversations, but holding their own opinions until last. Now, of course, for some discussion topics, it may be necessary to be clear and forthright about your views. But if you have any topics which truly require open discussion, then by leading the conversation with your opinion, may unconsciously send messages to other trustees that they either have to agree with you or to disagree, which is a power position which many may feel uncomfortable with. Arguably, in these situations, it's preferable to ask guiding questions and clarifying questions during the conversation, and then only at the end, when you've heard the range of opinions, you can make your full thoughts known. Another aspect of guiding conversations revolves around those discussions that take place outside of the board meetings. Now, it's the responsibility of all trustees to be mindful of car park chatter or unofficial board meetings, but the responsibility ultimately falls to the chair to monitor and manage any conversations that may be taking place outside of board meetings that may have a detrimental effect on the board and indeed the school. It's important to realize that while these side conversations may be born out of good intent, they can easily become negative and even in some circumstances lead to significant damage to the school. Once splinter groups start in discussion, it's easy to create cliques or, for example, discussing the head of school, which all should be dealt with in a professional manner. Too often these conversations become influenced by anecdotes or parent power rather than objective data, and without the check and balance of the whole board, it can lead to disastrous results. It's hard to overstate the importance of the chair in making sure that the board follows the agenda and focuses on the right things. And the chair has some specific functions that include taking the lead role in building a strong and open relationship with the head, making sure that the agendas are developed in consultation with the head, ensuring that meetings are well run, keep good time, they're punctual, and cover appropriate topics. Ensure that discussions are balanced and purposeful and which provide opportunities for all the trustees to contribute. To take all the appropriate steps to rein in trustees who may be behaving inappropriately or in a less than helpful way. Being alert to potential conflicts of interest. And ensuring that the work of the board doesn't encroach on the operational functions of the head of school and the leadership. As you think now about the role of the chair, perhaps you've begun to appreciate some of the character traits and skills that are effective in balancing the interpersonal dynamics on your board.